Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the trade-in store and more specifically the 6-star awakening gem in the trade-in store. However, before I get actually into the video gritty bits, I definitely need to mention that this is one of those times where I got carried away personally without taking my time to actually kind of like analyze the numbers and the implications of the entire situation. And the video they uploaded yesterday about trade-in store definitely was much more of a spur of the moment type thing. And I did not take my time to kind of like analyze the situation. The thing that took me by surprise was the fact that we had the option of getting a 6-star awakening gem by trading in 5-star awakening gems to begin with, because I did not expect that. What I thought it's going to be, I thought it's going to be trading your 6-star awakening gem that you don't like for a chance to re-roll it. That's all I personally expected from it. Therefore, at the moment when I was looking at it, I was genuinely positively impressed. However, the more thought I give to the amount of generic awakening gems that you need to trade in, and also the more people feedback I get, because I have been bombarded with these messages and there's a ton of forum threads on the issue, all of whom are blowing up and all of whom raise fairly valid points here. And I definitely wanted to address that, because I do think that there are some critical errors being made right now with that awakening gem crystal for 5 generics that still can be fixed. And that's a good enough reason for me to make that video. But the base problem starts with the fact that Kabam is always actively dissuading you from hoarding resources and materials. And whilst I didn't specifically or purposely hoard the awakening gems myself, I was fortunate enough to have the 5 generic awakening gems. But it would be a very easily situation for any player where you just don't. In fact, I know supporters of my channel who have as big, if not bigger, accounts than I do, and who are bigger whales than I am, who are unable to get to that 5 generic 5-star awakening gem mark. Why? Because they have simply been using the awakening gems. And in this case, the high cost of 5 generic awakening gems, which is quite, very few people would actually have those. And yes, you can trade in your class gems for generic ones, but there is only a finite amount that you can acquire. And that is like the bigger problem here. You can be clever about it to help your situation out as much as you can by opening your Supreme Solo crystals. I had like 64-star Awakening Gem crystals unopened that, I could open and then trade them up for generics. And then I could, trade those in for another 5-star Awakening Gems, which is the maximum that you can get from this event. But that all sets you up for incredible reliance on RNG, and there is absolutely no guaranteed result. You can see that quite a lot of people discuss that RNG aspect here. Then they have done pretty much everything, and they can get to 3 or 4 generic Awakening Gems, and then they end up with having like 1 of each class, or 2 of one class and 1 of most other ones. And you cannot actually, no matter what you do, the game does not have such a large quantity of Awakening Gems in permanent content that you could flip them out in a week. And obviously that creates a lot of sour emotions for people who are trying their best and either are just a bit short or get extremely unlucky, with RNG and miss out on such a valuable item, because 6-star Awakening Gem is a very, very, very big deal. And for some people, as we can see here, it makes them completely rethink their attitude towards resources, hoarding resources and things like that in general, because of issues like this, which is, again, something Kabam has been actively trying to get people away from. Now, I believe there are very easy ways how these situations could be rectified within a week. And unfortunately, I do suspect Kabam's next move, because Kabam's business. And unfortunately, I do suspect either cash offers or unit offers for 5-star generic awakening gems, limit 3 or something. I genuinely believe we are going to see 5-star generic awakening gem offer or multiple of them in next 2 or 3 days whilst Trading Store is active, to basically borderline extort that money or units out of the people who are hunting that 6-star awakening gem. And what's worse, I bet it is going to be extremely effective, because a lot of people will, you need to spend $30 to get a generic 5-star awakening gem that you would have never ever in your life purchased before for $30 anymore, or $50. You will now, because that will result in a 6-star awakening gem. It would be very stupid and silly not for Kabam to capitalize on that from a financial point of view. Obviously, it will anger a lot of people, but a lot of people will grudgingly give away their units and or money for those awakening gems. So that is what I see actually happening in a day or two. Now, the solution, in my opinion, would have been fairly simple, and that is to have a mini boss rush or a small solo event where you can actually earn 1 or 2 5-star awakening gems. Have us work for it, but give us helping hand, because we can discuss the price of 5 awakening gems for a 6-star one as being too high, but assuming that the price does not change, I think the right thing for Kabam to have done in this situation should have been to offer the players who are willing to work for it opportunities to earn those 5-star awakening gems, specifically generic ones, because getting class awakening gem crystal might not necessarily be all that helpful, because when it comes to class awakening gems, there are variant content. There is 5.3 and Act 5, I think 5.3 and Act 5 completion. But when it comes to 5-star generic awakening gems, they're very rare in the game. It's 100% Labyrinth, 100% Act 5, and maybe I'm forgetting something. A while back I posted a video where I went over every single awakening gem you can earn in this game. You can pull that up, but I think there are only 2 or maybe 3 generic 5-star awakening gems in permanent content, which a lot of people are gunning for right now. A lot of people are trying to explore Act 5 100% and Labyrinth of Legends 100% just to get those awakening gems. I do think that this entire thing could have gone down a lot better had somebody actually went over this event. They should have definitely given us a chance to earn some of those awakening gems, which unfortunately I don't see happening. What I do see happening, however, is there will be offers, probably, which they were always going to be there. But at the same time, the trading values obviously could have been looked at. All in all, this is again one of those situations where I believe Kabam is just creating more problems for themselves than they should be able to. It's actually quite astounding superpower of Kabam to fuck things up that should be very straightforward. Similar situation with that entire gold boost. So they said the gold boost is going to be by 30%, and then they have a community manager who is unable to explain exactly how the gold boosted rates work, and everybody gets pissed off because nowhere even prior to that we actually received a technical explanation, and everybody assumed it's going to be a flat 30% gold boost, basically rates, and apparently they changed the drop rates instead, which effectively led to a huge community outroar last night as I was streaming. And that's just a very tiny example of doing something that universally should be positive moment of people being happy. And there should be no controversy about it, or very little of it. And then all of a sudden the entire player base just grabs the pitchforks and is up in arms for no other reason that you didn't think it through, you didn't communicate it through. And I think this is similar type of situation where they didn't plan it through. And with minor changes, this trade in store thing could have been one of the most celebrated things. But right now, again, we can open a new tab here. We can see hordes and hordes and hordes of complaint threads about the 6-star awakening gem specifically. The rest of the trade in store was hit or miss, but the 6-star awakening gem is the big thing. And problem with the trade in 6-star awakening gem, 6-star awakening gem crystals, new view and resources in a contest, 6-star awakening gems unfair, and there's trade in store merge threads, but that's the main discussion as well. Reduce the RNG needed to get 6-star awakened, reasonable solution. It's just a very big source of pain. And they definitely can still amend it as well, I think. I think they can either amend the trade-in values or do something. You know, there are 15 ways how they could rectify the situation. Let us trade in class gems for, I don't know, different class gems or something. There could have been many easy ways to fix it. But it's doubtful that we're going to see much change. Again, I do think that we are going to see some offers that give us a chance to get generic or class awakening gems within the next 3-4 days. But I think that's going to be about it. And I'm a bit upset with myself as well that I didn't talk about it yesterday. Because again, I was just a bit too much in the moment. And I was kind of like surprised by the fact that there is the chance to trade in the 5-star awakening gems for a 6-star one. But at this point, looking at how many people are just getting shafted by it and how many people have this negative emotion of missing out when they played the game the way Kabam wants the game to be played. They acquired their resources and they use them. They acquired their resources and they use them. It just doesn't feel quite right, does it? Let me know what you guys think about this entire awakening gem situation. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the